mirror and think, hey, I look 10 years younger. That's what happens when you stop dieting and start doing Soda weight loss.
I tried point counting, calorie counting, shots, and nothing has worked until Soda weight loss.
Soda weight loss gives you a personal nutritionist you can text anytime.
Everybody's great here. Everybody's encouraging. There were some times where I felt down and they brought me back up. If you stick with this program, you will lose weight and you will get to your goal weight.
When you sign up for Soda weight loss, your partner joins for free.
If you're ready to feel stronger, healthier, and yes, look and feel 10 years younger, this is your moment. No meds, no gimmicks, just real results with real support.
Remember, sign up now and your partner joins for free. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Are you ready for the holidays? Hi, this is Scott Matthew with Matthew's Fine Watches and Jewelry. We have a great selection to choose from and special gifts with purchase. Discover elegant Allison Kaufman diamond bracelets. Select styles 30% off. These pieces are limited. When they're gone, they're gone. Looking to pop the question? Come to Matthew's Fine Watches and Jewelry and let our family be a part of your special day.
Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry in the Highlands Ranch Town Center and at MatthewsFineWatches.com.
Welcome to Blue Sports Stable, Colorado's premier multi-sport destination. Their massive facility features ice rinks, indoor turf, basketball courts, golf simulators, fitness center, and restaurant, all under one roof. Perfect for families and groups with themed public skates, ice bumper cars, learn to play programs, birthday parties, corporate events, and team building activities. Open to everyone. Come play, skate, celebrate, and connect. Visit BlueSportsStable.com and follow at Blue Sports Stable on Instagram. Blue Sports Stable, something for everyone.
Need a new water heater? Euro Plumbing has lifetime warranties, great financing, and low pricing. 720-500-3000. 720-500-3000.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
And it is Denver Sports Tonight on this Wednesday night in the Mile High City. He's Dante Gomez. I'm Will Peterson. We'll roll with you for the next hour. Busy day in Denver sports. Broncos back at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit. Our Andrew Mason was down there today. Guy Cecil Lammy always hustles, gets over there as well after his program. And to no one's surprise, the Broncos were in the Pat Bowlen Fieldhouse today with the weather conditions. First real snow of the year in Denver. Broncos decide to take it indoors. Of course, they will be playing indoors against Vegas on Sunday, Allegiant Stadium, and the Raiders. So it wouldn't shock me, honestly, if the Broncos are indoors the next couple of days as well. And, oh, baby, that injury report is light. You love seeing an injury report like this. I understand they only played one game in 23 days leading up to the Commanders, but they came out relatively healthy. The only news that is super worthy of passing along is that DJ Jones has an ankle. He was a DNP today. We saw that injury against the Commanders, so we'll monitor that. Nate Atkins, who they mysteriously never put on IR. Not sure why they didn't do that. He's missed more than 4 games at this point. Also didn't go with his knee. But then Jonah Ellis gets back out there today as well, a full participant with a hammy. We haven't seen Jonah in a few weeks, but he should be good to go against the Raiders. Dante, what do you make of Broncos sort of back on a normal week schedule? These 5 games coming down to the wire. We all know it's been laid out very well by now that if they beat the Raiders, they hold the tiebreaker over the Patriots, common opponents. They are the number 1 seed, provided they finish with the same record as New England. Don't forget, Patriots still have the Bills and the Ravens. They could definitely lose 1, if not 2. I'm going to say 14-3 gets you the 1 seed. 13-4 could get you the 1 seed. And obviously, Broncos control their own destiny. 15-2 will do it, but that would be crazy, finishing on a 14-game winning streak. Where are you at? Not micro, but macro, kind of big picture view as we enter the stretch run here in December.
Yeah, to me, it's go time. This is it. Final stretch. You already had the bye week. You had all the weird games. There's still the Thursday night game, I know, against the Chiefs on Christmas still. But other than that, it's, hey, you're lining it up every Sunday. You're going out there. You got 5 games left. Go out there, win as many as you can. Try to secure that 1 seed. Patriots don't have a terribly difficult schedule. Got a couple tough ones.
Two teams battling for the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be live dogs in those, but they've already gone to Buffalo, beat Buffalo in New York there, so at least they get them in New England for this one, if you're looking at it from the Patriots' point of view. So it's go time. It's I think Sean Payton mentioned it in his press conference about, like, this is the time of year where you really figure out who you are. It's important to be winning games, getting hot at the right time here. So it's full gas to the you're putting the gas pedal through the bottom of the car here.
Pedal to the metal. That's what you were looking for. There you go. I'm with you, though. It's all gas, no brakes, right? If you're Denver, a second bye can be absolutely huge while you watch the rest of the AFC beat each other up on Wild Card Weekend and you sit on your couch. That would be massive. Health reasons, we don't know what's going to come and go between now and then, but J.K. Dobbins remains a very outside possibility. Sean Payton brought him up unprompted last week. The initial reports were the Super Bowl, but maybe that timeline gets accelerated just a little bit. I don't know why Sean's bringing it up out of left field in late November, but it gave me hope as a Broncos fan. So, A, you're on your couch Wild Card Weekend, and B, then you only have to win 2 home games to go to the Super Bowl.
Real quick, one step beyond that, what happened last year, Week 18? What did the Chiefs get to do?
Sat everyone here in Denver and got obliterated.
They got that 1 seed locked up early, ready to go. If the Broncos have the tiebreaker at the Patriots, that's not a crazy scenario where they get to do the same kind of thing, rest these guys Week 18, and have that 1 seed first round bye locked up. So you could get plenty of rest here at the end of the season if everything goes right.
2 byes. To your theory there, it would be 2 byes. You don't have to play anyone against the Chargers, and then you get the next week off as well. Now, that gets the old rest versus rust debate going. I know the Chiefs got a lot of flack for not playing anyone, particularly Cincinnati Bengals fans were very upset because that knocked them out of the playoffs a season ago. But, yeah, you know what, Dante? Those are first-world problems, and they would be great problems to have because it's been a long, long time since we've debated in Broncos country, should you sit the starters, should you not? And also, it's the Chargers Week 18. The Chargers are only 2 back in the AFC West, but really, they're only 1 back because they hold the tiebreaker. And I mentioned this to Cello last night, and I think more people need to get this on their radar. If the Broncos are 1 game up going into Week 18, that game is for the AFC West. Okay, so let's not crown them division champions just yet, because if the Chargers are 1 game back and they win, they'll be 2-0, they'll hold the tiebreaker. If both teams finish 12-5, hypothetically, LA wins the AFC West, and then guess what? Then you're the 5, 6, or 7. And then you got to win 3 road games, more than likely to go to Santa Clara. And if they had to win 2 home games, all of Broncos country is going to pick them to go to the Super Bowl. If they have to win 3 road games, you got to have orange and blue glasses to pick them to go to the Super Bowl. It's just going to be a massive difference. So the pendulum can swing either way. You could maybe be resting everyone in Week 18, or if you're only 1 up, you could be playing for the division in Week 18. A lot to get decided over the next month.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Chargers schedule here. I would find it hard to believe that they're going to be in the mix to win the AFC West here. They have a gauntlet left. We're talking
hit me with it.
Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, who are playing really good football right now, Texans also playing really good football, and then the Broncos.
Woo! Yeah,
Those
they have no gimmies
Yeah.
in there. No gimmies. And I saw Justin Herbert today did not practice. Now, they play Monday night, so it was sort of a walkthrough type deal for them. But Jim Harbaugh was not committing to him playing against the Eagles. Who's the backup? We saw him a little. Was it Trey Lance, I want to say? I think came into the football game. Yeah, I know the Eagles are struggling. I know their offensive coordinator's house is getting egged, which, oh, by the way, is extremely inappropriate. There's a difference between not liking a guy's football coach and egging his house. That should go without saying, but some idiots in Philly did that.
What's worse, egging your OC's house or throwing batteries or snowballs at Santa?
I don't think I'm going to answer that because they're both bad. They're both inappropriate. But long story short, the Eagles are in a rut right now. They just lost to the Bears, got booed off the field on Black Friday. But that said, if it's Trey Lance, the Chargers will lose to the Eagles on Monday Night Football. So that is worth monitoring. For sure. You're right. Gauntlet of a schedule. I'm glad you laid it out for me. I didn't realize it was quite that tough. But still, the Broncos can't play with their food here. Because there's other side of the coin, man. There's some scenarios today floating about how they clinch the AFC West. They win the next 2. Chargers lose the next 2. Broncos are division champions. Think about that. We could be sitting here a week from now previewing a potential clinching division title that Sunday. Denver could win this division in 10 days. 10 days if everything breaks their way. 2 wins and 2 Chargers losses. So it's very fluid. It's very up in the air. But where I want to really begin tonight was Bo Nix, because he was at the podium today. And Bo generally says a lot without saying a lot. He's very good. He's very media trained, gives some cliches. But then every once in a while you're listening to Bo Nix and you're going, oh, that was interesting. Bo just said something that he probably shouldn't have said. Not that he wasn't telling the truth, but there was a notion today that Bo was listening to outside noise. Because what have all these national programs done basically all season, but really ramped up lately as the Broncos continue to win? Oh, well, they're frauds. Oh, they don't win big. They win by 3 points. They win by 1 point. They win by 4 points. They escape at the buzzer. People aren't buying the 10-2 Broncos. And Bo Nix got asked today if he can appreciate the run that the Broncos are currently on, and he went out of his way to mention multiple times in this answer you're about to hear that the Broncos are indeed 10-2. It's a little bit longer. I get it, but you're going to want to hear everything the QB said. Kind of, in my eyes, had to get off his chest.
Absolutely. I think the worst thing you can do is let other people tear down a 10-2 record, whether it's saying you don't play anybody or you're just relying on defense or whatever negative somebody's going to put on a positive. It's always going to happen, and we don't really worry about it. We're just excited. We know we've come a long way. This franchise and organization has had some great years, and then went into a little lull there for a minute, but then it just takes a couple guys. We get it back on track, and all of a sudden we're 10-2 and right where we want to be in every aspect of our season. And everybody can talk about a 10-2 record and make excuses of why we have it, but you still have to win games. You're still playing NFL teams who pay their players just as much as we are paid. So I think it's important to not lose track of that, and it's a good perspective to have that no matter what's going on, you've worked hard and you've got yourself to a 10-2 record, and we believe we could have been even better. And so it's all about moving forward. It's the next mentality, next game. And, we got an important one this week, divisional game on the road. Those are always important to go out there and get. They're a tough team. They're a hungry team. They have veteran players who are going to play really hard. And I think at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving on. But at the same time, don't forget, how far you've come and where you are as a team. And it does make coming to work a little bit more exciting. It does make, finishing out this season gives you something to look forward to and play for. And there's a lot of good that comes from looking forward to something and playing for something. Don't know why that is, but it's just something about the locker room that makes it, exciting, and the guys who want to do it for other people. So that's the important thing, and we're in a great spot, and 10-2 is hard to do. Like I said the other day, we won 10 games last year at the end, and we're not at the end yet, and we've already won 10. So that's an improvement, but we didn't work this hard to just win 10.
I mean, what a speech from Bo Nix right there. Dante, I counted at least 3 times he mentioned that the Denver Broncos are 10-2. Started out, said the worst thing you can do is let other people tear down a 10-2 record. Whether you're saying don't play anybody or you're just relying on the defense or whatever negative somebody is going to try to put on a positive. Again, we don't get answers from Bo Nix like this all the time, but that was a peek behind the curtain of a more than 2-minute speech telling everyone to shove it with their hot takes about the Broncos' 10-2 record.
Yeah, I loved it. And he had a quote earlier, I want to say it was either earlier this week or after the game, about how, stats don't really matter. They're kind of just an arbitrary thing that fans made up to, track the games and whatnot. What really matters is winning and losing games. And doesn't matter if you win by 40, doesn't matter if you win by 1. Winning is winning. So I like that he's kind of shifted his mindset here from, going out there, and obviously you want to play well and you want to score on all your drives, but he's keeping, the old phrase is keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is going out there and winning on Sundays. He mentioned it a bunch of times in his speech there. 10-2, could be even better than that. It's not about how many yards he's throwing for. It's not about how, his passer rating and all that stuff, which can, fluctuate from time to time. But what he's shown is he is a winner at all levels. I'm sure he won in high school. He definitely won in college, and he's winning here in the NFL. Rookie year goes to the playoffs. Hard to do. I know that, I love how people are like, oh, look at Drake May. Look how great of a quarterback he is. He's going to light it up in the playoffs. We have nothing to draw from that. Bo Nix at least has experience in the playoffs because he went out as a rookie and took his team to the playoffs because he's a winner. That's just what he does. So I like it. I like his mindset on the team at this point.
Yeah, Bo Nix has won 20 games in his NFL career now. It's definitely the most of that entire class, and he went 6th in the first round. It's very well documented. But Caleb Williams struggled as a rookie, playing well this year. Jaden Daniels, great as a rookie, injured this year. Drake May struggled as a rookie. The Patriots really struggled, playing great this year. Michael Penix can't get on the field. J.J. McCarthy couldn't get on the field last year, has become a laughingstock this year. Bo Nix is the most consistent of that entire class with his 20 wins here on December 3rd. And you hit on something, too, that I didn't catch the first time, but I think is critical. He mentioned, hey, our record could be even better, right? Like if you want to go on ESPN, Rex Ryan, or who was the guy the other day, Damian Woody, who was hating on him, Stephen A., whoever, pick your guy. If you want to go on ESPN and trash us, well, not only will I fire back that we're 10-2, but I will sneak in there that we could be 12-0, that we are literally 2 plays from being 12-0. In Indy, if Will Lutz doesn't doink or Bo doesn't throw the interception, that's a dub. Or if they don't have the leverage penalty, that's a dub. Against the Chargers, you'll remember they had the football. He threw a bomb down the sideline to Cortland Sutton on the left. It missed by inches. If Cortland catches that, they run the clock out. Will Lutz kicks the field goal. That's a dub. So, yeah, we can sit here and go, oh, miracle rally against the Giants, or, oh, the Commanders only lost by a point and they're 3-8, or, oh, they struggled for 3 quarters in Houston and needed a 4th quarter. Guess what? That's just who the Broncos are. That's who the Broncos are. They're winners. They find ways to win. They learned how to do it last year, and they learned how to do it through 3 weeks this year. And ever since then, even on Sunday, man, I'm watching that game going, well, this is just kind of who the Broncos are, but they'll find a way. And then it comes down to that 2-point conversion. I told Chella last night I was glad it came down to 1 play because I said, well, either they're winning or losing on this play, and they found a way. I think Bo Nix' little fiery speech today, that was about as big a clapback as he's done maybe since his intro press conference when, remember, he got the question about throwing deep balls because everyone thought he was a check down Charlie, and he sort of fired back at the reporter saying, go watch my tape. I can throw deep balls as well.
Yeah, I like Bo with a little chip on his shoulder. I think it's good for him. I think he plays at his best when he has that chip. We've seen it this whole time. I know the drive, we went over the stats in terms of, late in games and clutch moments, how great he's been. When the moment's the biggest, he's at his best. When he has that chip on his shoulder, he's going to play, the top 10 quarterback top 10 quarterback play in the NFL there. So I like it that he's, listening, and the Broncos are able to be in the position they are at 10-2 and still have a chip on your shoulder. You don't really find that a lot. Usually everyone's, sucking up to you, praising you, like, oh my gosh, what a great season they're having. Kind of like what we see with the Patriots a lot. It's hard to keep that fire inside of you, but Bo does not seem to have a problem with that. Also, I want to point out, separate from the Bo Nix, chip on his shoulder, we're talking about the Broncos just being able to go out and win games. Kind of reminds me a lot of the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a lot of things that are not comparable outside of that, but the fact that the Eagles, everyone was saying, oh, they win ugly, oh, they don't win the way you want to win, whatever. They cruised to a Super Bowl championship last year. No one's questioning them about that. It's Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he doesn't put up the best numbers. Yeah, he doesn't, light it up in terms of, he's not going to win an MVP most likely, but at the end of the day, he was the guy holding up the Super Bowl trophy, and that's what matters.
Yeah, style points don't count for Lombardis and parades, and that's what we all crave is Lombardis and parades. And it's an excellent example by you that people last year said, the Eagles, it's not pretty, this and that. And then, people going into the Super Bowl, how can you doubt Mahomes? How can you doubt the Chiefs? And it was 40-6. I mean, I know the final score was closer than that, but it was a blowout. It was as big a blowout as the Broncos had in Super Bowl 48 when they lost 43-8. It was a beatdown. It was an embarrassment. And I know guys who played in Super Bowl 48, and they've said publicly and they've told me privately that, yeah, we got embarrassed in MetLife Stadium that night against the Seattle Seahawks, and that's exactly what the Eagles did to the Chiefs last year. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. It's like the texters are reading your mind, Dante. The 1110 says, I want this team to have a chip on their shoulder. I think that will only help them when we get to the playoffs. And I agree with the texter, and I agree with you. If you go to the playoffs and everyone is just reading their headlines and telling how great they are. You know what happens? Here's a good example of what happens when people do that. The Detroit Lions last year, right? Everyone's telling the Lions how great they are. Everyone's saying, oh my gosh, they're finally going back to the Super Bowl. This tortured fan base is going to get their moment in the sun. And what happens? They play one lousy home playoff game and give up, 45 points to the Commanders or whatever it was, and they're one and done. And you look at them this year, I mean, they're good, but you don't see a lot of people picking them to win the NFC. I think they're even on the outside looking into the playoff picture. It's so competitive right now. Windows close fast in this league. And a team like Detroit last year, everyone's heaping praise and bowing down to them. They lay an egg in the playoffs. I think if the Broncos play the Bills or the Chiefs if they sneak in, or the Ravens if they sneak in, depending on who wins that division, or Cincinnati, because they could now get in, they're going to be dogs. They're going to be a playoff home dog in that football game. And I'm talking odds makers, underdog. Because you know what? It's sexier to pick the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, and Bengals because they've been the face of the AFC for the last 5, 6, 7 years now. That would be scary for the opposing quarterback at Empower Field at Mile High that day. Because when the Broncos in 2015, Big Ben came to town. Well, it's Big Ben. Payton's old. I'm going to pick Big Ben. Broncos beat him up, won that game. Tom Brady comes to town. AFC title game. Oh, you got to pick Brady, AFC title game. Broncos defense beats him up. I mean, I don't know how well you remember the fourth quarter of that game, but the Broncos just went 3 and out, and Brady got the ball, and they just got clutch stop after clutch stop after clutch stop. He finally hits Gronk in the final seconds on fourth down, an unbelievable miracle touchdown to make it 2018, and then they break up the 2-point conversion and go to the Super Bowl. I think the Broncos being home dogs in a playoff game may actually be a good thing for the fuel of this team.
Yeah, and Sean Payton, he loves that position too. You've seen it, even if you go back to the Chiefs game when they hosted the Chiefs the other day, about he gets this team fired up to play, especially when they're in that role of underdog. He really knows how to press this team's buttons. His own team, the Broncos there.
Correct.
So I love it if they were going to be underdogs like that. And, there was a clip that Zach sent me. I think we're going to play it on the drive at some point here, but it was about a New England or Boston radio host, and he was talking about, he's like, I don't know what people are talking about. Why would you want to go to Denver and play this team? I think he said they're 0-3 or 0-4 all time. They've never beat Denver in Denver.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs, exactly. So it's one of those where, I mean, if you know, kind of, you do not want to face this Broncos team in Denver with this defense, with the weather, the way the weather can be in January in Colorado too. So I think some people are taking note of the Broncos and, being a little fearful, as they should, but the people that are underrating the Broncos, I don't know what they could possibly show you to prove you wrong or to change your mind. They go out and win a massive game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs needed it. They beat them. They just have won every step of the way. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but winning is what matters, and that's what Bo's talked about. That's what Sean's talked about, and that's what matters. Again, we talked about it with the Eagles. That's how they're able to go out and host the Lombardi trophies, because they go out and they win however you want it. They can go up and put up 40, or they can grind you out. They can run the ball. They can play great defense and win that way. And the Broncos are the same exact way.
Yeah, and the Boston radio host is interesting because I know they're at least 0-3 here because all 3 playoff games are very famous. You have the Champ Bailey pick 6 off Tom Brady, or maybe not pick 6, down at the 1, Benjamin Watson runs him down. It ended Brady's chance at a dynasty in the mid-2000s. He obviously still had a dynasty. He won 3, but he didn't get a 4th. And then you have the 2 AFC title games here in Denver, the 2013 and 2015. So I know those 3 games, at least, New England has never won in the playoffs in Denver. Obviously, they smacked Tim Tebow around in the playoffs after the Tebow to DT unbelievable 80-yard touchdown, but that game was in Foxborough, not here at the Mile High. So, sometimes in Boston, I think they're a little full of themselves. I think they like to puff their chests, but that will be a good clip that I look forward to listening to on the drive in the next day or two, because it is a radio host out there with common sense. All right, Sean Payton also at the podium today, and he got asked about Bo Nix hating to lose, and it brings up the old question, do you hate to lose more than you like to win?
It's a healthy feeling, and there's that, look, Wednesdays for him, that it starts again. There's that clock, and it's that race to digest the game plan, the checks, the kills, and that's why, a lot of these QBs lose their hair and coaches lose their hair, turn gray. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the preparation. There's a lot of stress that goes into that. That's a very good trait.
Yeah, and I think he's saying he's addicted to the game. A little more from Sean on how he cultivates that winning environment.
I hate losing more than anything like in the world. And so I think fear of failure is a very significant motivating factor. I think from a detail standpoint, and you know, there's nothing that's too small that's not significant. That has to exist outside the lines as well. You know, the entryway, the locker room, the signage, post-game, and everything we do, there's been thought given to like all of it. And so almost maniacal with the details. I think eventually the feeling of the player feeling like they've thought of everything.
Maniacal with the details. Maniacal is a good trait in a football coach, even if it can wear on some people. You hear Sean talk about, I hate losing more than anything in the world, and the fear of failure is a significant motivating factor, and then goes on to talk about, this isn't just in between the lines, Dante. This is the whole thing, right? I mean, he's talking about the freaking signage in the building, the entryway to the building. If you've ever been lucky enough to go in their lobby, you see the 3 Lombardis right there. Right in the display case, right in the lobby at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit. And again, he calls it maniacal with the details. He said it himself, so I don't think I'm insulting anyone by uttering this sentence, but I do think Sean Payton's a bit of a maniac. And quite frankly, I like my head coach being a bit of a maniac.
No, I do too. I've always said that. I kind of want my head coach to be a little crazy, kind of be a little bit of a jerk as well. And Sean Payton has a little bit of both of those qualities to him. And I think that's why him and Bo Nix are such a good fit. They both have that same like craziness, the maniac that you're talking about. And I think that's what Sean saw in Bo before he drafted him. That's how he knew that was going to be his guy. Is we're on the same page about this. This guy takes this job very seriously. This guy's a freak about winning or, not losing. That's what Sean also mentioned there about how much he hates losing. I think they both share that exact same quality, and that's what makes them such a good pairing and so good at their individual jobs.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I do have to ask you the question because this is one I've thought about as a competitor, and I was not a competitor at the highest level by any stretch. I played high school sports. I played intramurals in college, but that was the extent of my career. And we have so many guys on this station who not only played college sports, but played in the NFL as well and won Super Bowls in the NFL and had very wildly crazy successful careers. But I think even going back to high school, and I'm sure most people who played high school sports can relate to this, I hated losing more than I liked winning. If you win, you're just like, all right, great, relief. Weight of the world off the shoulders. We got the dub. We're on to the next one. Losing, especially losing in the playoffs, you lose a state playoff basketball game, that finality of it, you're done. The other team gets to play the next night for a state title. You're done. You get to ride the bus back. And, this is pre-Twitter. You get to log on to the Denver Post website the next day and see who won the state title. To me, it's more about hating losing than loving winning. That's how I'm wired. How about you?
I'm the same way. Obviously, winning's great, and I love, you can showboat and whatever, but just the fire that you get inside of you when you lose. I think Josh Allen mentioned that the other day. He was talking to his Wyoming team when he was getting inducted. It was coming off that, I think it was the Texans' loss, and he was talking about, he's like, I kind of love this feeling. It fires me up. It gives me like a reason to get up in the morning. And I think a lot of athletes and I think a lot of people are wired the same way.
All right, so is Bo Nix addressing the noise a good thing or a bad thing? We've got a lot of reaction on the text line I want to get to. Plus, the Avalanche did something last night that has not been done since 1979. Yes, 1979. You'll hear what on the other side.
Have the Denver Broncos proven they're capable of making a deep playoff run?
If you can be successful in one-score games, if you can find ways to win different games, fourth-quarter comebacks, overtime wins, putting a complete game together, 60 minutes of offensive football, that's what the Broncos have done. They've shown us 5-6 different ways they can win a football game so that you get to yourself in a playoff scenario.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Visit our Denver Clearance Center during our Black Friday sale going on now. Save up to 75% on name brand appliances like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, GE, and Bosch. With unbeatable prices on top quality appliances, now is the perfect time to upgrade your home. Don't miss out on these exclusive deals. Visit us today at the Denver Clearance Center. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance. Open 7 days a week.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you. Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here. I'm going to be blunt. If your windows are drafty, sticking, or leaking, cold nights are costing you money. In January, they'll cost you even more. Window prices are going up. Gravina's Window Center of Littleton is locking in 2025 pricing, but orders must be placed by December 31st. Don't let the 2026 price increase punch you in the wallet. Order by December 31st or you're paying 2026 prices. Go to windowsforyourhome.com or call them at 303-794-0490.
It matters who your lawyer is. At Berg Simpson, we truly care about the quality of work we do, that fair compensation is given, and that our clients are getting the best possible representation. We're proud of that, and it shows.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives. It's not just a slogan, it's who we are.
Hey folks, Stoke here from my friends at Embers Golf, your go-to spot for holiday shopping. That's right, gear up, save big, and surprise the golf fan in your family. Embers Golf is family-owned and customer-focused, so you know you're getting the best service and the best deals. I know, I got a full bag fitting from my guys over there, Trevor and Tate. I'm telling you, it was the absolute best. I love my new clubs that I got this year. Driver 3-wood, all my irons. What a golf year it's been. So don't wait, shop now at embersgolf.com. Embers Golf, where your passion meets a green.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose, from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
If you have a tax problem, fear and sleepless nights are common. This is Todd Whalen, founder of Advanced Tax Solutions. We've been fixing tax problems for a long time. Many of our competitors not only have you meet with a salesperson, but that person gets a commission based on what they sell you. At Advanced Tax Solutions, our licensed professionals never get a commission for selling you anything. We've seen a lot of resolution companies come and go, but we're still here. Check us out at advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Payton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So, I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone, too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile! The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Happy holidays from Done Right Home Improvements. Putting off that home makeover till after the holidays? Well, good, because book your project now for install after and save 16% or get a great financing deal. DRHI.com.
Catch Telestrator Tuesday weekly on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, where Stink or Stoke dive into the past weekend's games with a coach's eye, using insights into what went right and wrong on critical plays. Telestrator Tuesdays, powered by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
This is why the texters are the best. The 8669, 1986. Rulon with a big sack of Eason for a safety in the fourth quarter. Yes, that is correct. The Broncos beat the Patriots in the playoffs at Mile High following the 1986 season. Of course, they went to the Super Bowl that year, would go on to lose to the New York Giants. But if you're just tuning in, this circles back to our previous conversation. The Patriots are 0-4 in Denver in their history in the playoffs. Add 1986 to the list, along with the Champ Bailey pick off Tom Brady. I want to say 04-ish. And then, of course, the 2013 and 2015 AFC title games. So that's why we love the RamosLaw.com texters, Dante. Always educating us, always filling us in, and sort of proving the point that people in New England are idiots if they think they can just march into Denver and win an AFC title game.
Yeah, and it feels like in a lot of these games, there's some signature defensive moments. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the kind of thing that pops up this year if New England has to come here as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, the texter pointing out the sack for the safety, the Champ Bailey pick, obviously the play on the two-point conversion where the ball ended up in the hands of Bradley Roby in 2015. 2013, that Broncos team was just a wagon, greatest offense in NFL history. Didn't blow the Patriots out by any stretch, but that game felt pretty comfortable throughout for the Broncos going to Super Bowl 48. All right, a couple other texts I want to get to before we get to the Avs. Big Perm chimes in and says, usually I don't want players to address any outside noise, but when 10-2 teams are ranked 12th in some power rankings and the Cowboys and Chiefs are ahead of the Broncos, the two teams they beat this season, then I don't mind if Bo Nix claps back at those national media schmucks. Point well taken, Big Perm. I don't think they're 12 in a lot of power rankings. I know the one you're referencing. Most people are giving the Broncos their due, putting them somewhere in the top 5, but there are people out there that still say, oh, I'm going to put the Chiefs above the Broncos. It's like, why? They're 6-6. Denver's 10-2, and Denver beat them head-to-head. I think those people are just looking for attention, mostly at the end of the day. But Bo Nix is a human being, too. He hears some of the noise. And then the 52-62, I wanted to get to this one. Think about the 0-2 Buccaneers. Dominant defense, a little bit of suspect offense. Brad Johnson was the QB. They went on to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, John Gruden coached that team, and that defense flew all over the field and beat up on the Raiders in the Super Bowl that year. I want to say they scored like 40-something points on them. I think they scored on defense a couple times in that game. John Lynch was on that team, of course, came to Denver, had a lot of success with the Broncos as well, now the GM of the Niners. But, yeah, the NFL's not littered with examples of those type of teams, but there's a handful. The 2000 Ravens come to mind, our own Brandon Stokely, the 0-2 Bucks for sure. Heck, you could throw the 2015 Broncos in that conversation as well. There are all kinds of ways to win it, and you don't have to be the sexiest or the most fun team to talk about 24/7, 365 to hoist the trophy. And the Broncos have a real chance to hoist the trophy this season. Did you catch any of that Avs game last night, Dante?
I did not.
So they won 3-1, and it was kind of a ho-hum 3-1 type win. Nathan McKinnon even called the game boring afterwards, which, I think if fans spent hundreds of dollars of tickets to go to Ball Arena, they don't want to hear that from the superstar player. But I watched the whole thing. It was a little boring at times because Vancouver did what you have to do against a high-powered offense. They slowed the game down. They iced the puck. They mucked it up. They slogged up the neutral zone, and the Avs just escaped with not escaped, that's the wrong word. The Avs just kind of cruised to a 3-1 victory. But the biggest takeaway was what we learned after the game. And that was they were the first team since the 1979-1980 Philadelphia Flyers to only have one regulation loss through 26 games. Think about that, 46 years ago, because it would have been the fall and the winter of 79 that the Flyers did this through 26 games. 46 years since that's happened. I think we're kind of running out of ways to describe how dominant this Avalanche team is at the moment when you're making history like that, something the league hasn't seen in more than 4 decades.
Yeah, they're just on absolute tear right now. I'm with you. I run out of words to describe how good they are. Any worry on your end that they're maybe peaking too early, or does this feel like this is something they can ride all year and into the playoffs too?
Yeah, I think it's very valid, especially because they're going to be off for 3 weeks in February, right? This is not the year you want it to be an Olympic year. If your team is this good, you kind of just want a normal calendar, and it won't be a normal calendar. And it won't be a normal calendar for like 5, 6, 7 guys on your team, your 5, 6, 7 best players. Those rosters are going to come out here in a month or so, but we already know that Cale Makar's going to Italy. We know Nathan McKinnon's going to Italy. Wouldn't be surprised if Devontae's is there. Could see Gabriel Landeskog get the nod for Sweden. Marty Necas, Arturi Lehkonen. We've heard Scott Wedgwood could be in the mix for Team Canada. I mean, this isn't going to be 3 weeks to go to Mexico and chill on the beach. Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to Jack Drury and Ross Colton, they're going to have an opportunity to get some time off. I'm sure they'll go on nice, lovely vacations. Not the rest of these guys, because not only is this not a break, this is a chance to get a gold medal. And it's the first time in a long time that NHL players have been allowed to play in the Olympics. This may be the only chance Cale Makar has to add a gold medal to his trophy case. Nathan MacKinnon has to add a gold medal to his growing trophy case. I know the Four Nations last year was insanely competitive, and people had a lot of fun with that. People got really into it. You know, it's kind of the best thing the NHL's done for their sport in a long time. It was the talk of the sports world when the All-Star break and their little gimmick, you know, shoot the target game or whatever, no one cares. The Four Nations was awesome. The Olympics is going to be the Four Nations on steroids. The Olympics are going to be nuts. And if you're the Avalanche, yes, you want your guys to go win gold, but could that 3 weeks sort of throw off the chemistry of right now what looks to be perhaps the best regular season team in NHL history?
Yeah, and that's what I was about to bring up, the Four Nations tournament as well. We saw how competitive those games. We saw fist fights from, you know, the opening whistle between Canada and America, and how awesome that tournament was. And the Olympics is just going to be an elevated version of that, because that's a real trophy on the line. You know, the Four Nations Cup, like that's just some made-up tournament the NHL invented because their All-Star game stunk. So we're talking about a gold medal, something that actually matters to these guys. And obviously they all have, you know, pride for their nations and everything like that, and that's what made the Four Nations so great. But this is like a legitimate thing that they are going for here. So I imagine it's gonna be great hockey we're gonna see, but definitely, you know, room for concern for Avalanche fans, and not what you want in the middle of your year. You don't want to risk injury. You don't want to risk these guys losing the mojo and the you know, just the ball rolling downhill, the momentum that they have right now. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I'll definitely be watching the Olympics as well as, you know, the Avalanche in general. But I think that not a lot of pros can come from that 3-week break. I think there's more room for negatives, which I don't want to sound like, you know, the negative Nancy here, but I think that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, no, and I think you're onto something there. I'm not going to take it as far as they shouldn't do it. You know, I know some people got mad at Nikola Jokic. Oh, he needs time off. Why is he playing for Serbia? Dude, it's his country. He's going to go represent his country. And guess what? Without Nikola Jokic, Serbia is not going to be competitive in basketball. And with him, they almost beat the Americans in the semifinals last summer, and then did end up taking the bronze medal. So I have no problem. Like, if you're Nathan MacKinnon, you've got a Hart Trophy, you've got a Stanley Cup. Why not add a gold medal? If you're Cale Makar, you've got a couple Norrises, you've got a Stanley Cup, you've got a Conn Smythe. Why not add a gold medal? Like, in some senses, this is what is missing from their trophy cases, and these guys are in their prime only once. They want to rack up as many accolades as they can, and then guess what? They get to go talk about it the next 40, 50 years. I mean, look at Wayne Gretzky. You know, Wayne Gretzky hasn't played hockey in a long time. He's still very, very famous. He's still the great one. He's still on our TVs all the time, and it's because Wayne Gretzky in his prime racked up literally every accolade you can rack up. So that's what MacKinnon and Makar are trying to do, and I think you feel the same way, but just to clarify, you have no problem with these guys playing in the Olympics.
I don't. I mean, I would say I have a problem with it, but I don't expect them to sit it out.
You do have a problem with it.
If I was the owner of the Avalanche, yeah, I would prefer if they didn't play, I guess.
But every guy, like, that's the thing. The best players from Vegas and Dallas and Edmonton and Florida and Tampa are also playing. It's not unique to the Avs.
No, exactly. But the Avs are in a unique situation with how good they are this year and how cup ready they are this year. So, again, I would not ask them to sit it out, but I would not be thrilled that they're playing. I would put it that way.
Fair. I see where you're coming from. I think the good news is it is February, and you will have the month of March and early April to kind of just get back into the rhythm and hopefully, as you said, build that momentum back up heading into the postseason. I would be more concerned if it was come back from the Olympics and boom, it's playoffs. At least they'll have 6 more weeks of the regular season after their time over in Italy.
No, that's a good point. And it's probably less hockey compared to what the NHL regular season is at that point.
They'll probably play 4 games in 3 days or in 3 weeks. Maybe 5 games, you know, if you go all the way to the gold medal round.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure it's, you know, still somewhat of a break, and yet you are in Italy. You know, that is a pretty hot vacation spot too. So I get that it's still not, you know, the most competitive. It's very competitive hockey, but it's not going to be as draining on the body as a regular NHL season in that time period would be. So I think that's a little bit of a nod or in favor of them going over there and playing and being okay with it. But yeah, I mean, I'd be a little nervous. I mean, I see it in like the World Baseball Classic in baseball. A lot of these organizations don't let their pitchers pitch in the tournament because that's something that can really ruin your season right there. Versus the hitters, it's like, there's not as much risk there.
Sure.
Hockey feels like there's always kind of a risk when you're sending guys out there.
Yeah, and honestly, all those games are going to be like Game 7s. You know, maybe the pool play games will be like Game 5, you know, in a 2-2 series. But you're playing in a semifinal or a gold medal game, that's the equivalent of playing a Game 7 for the Cup because it's one and done. It's the winner of that hockey game gets the medal and leaves Italy happy. And based on how competitive Four Nations was, you know, could a Finland with a Mikko Rantanen get involved? Could a Sweden get involved? Sure. But based on how Four Nations went, I think we can all pretty much sign up for USA-Canada for a gold medal, and the intensity of that game is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to throw, I don't know what their rules are and if they're allowed to play, but I know Russia.
I don't think they're in. They're not.
Okay,
in.
they're not in the Olympics?
Yeah, Nichushkin is not going to play. It's not a Nichushkin thing, just for the record. It's a what is it? IOC, International Olympic Committee. It's an IOC thing. Russia is not in the Olympics, at least not in hockey. I know that much.
Okay, well, yeah, at that point, then I think you can chalk it up to it's going to be USA versus Canada in that gold medal match.
Unless Mikko and Arturi go nuts, Dante. Reunite the old Avs friends. You're sleeping on Finland a little bit. Don't sleep on Finland.
Finland was the fun fact. In 7th grade, I won my geography bee.
Okay.
And the final answer I got right was Finland.
There you go. Well, it clearly stuck with you all these years later. I love it. I love it. All right, the Rockies. Yes, the Colorado Rockies. They actually did something good today. They've hired a new GM. We'll tell you why it's important coming up next.
Is Alex Singleton playing his way toward Broncos immortality?
He signed a 1-year, $1 million contract, and then all he does is goes on to set the single-season tackle record, and then he blows out his ACL. He comes all the way back, gets flagged for cancer, and then 23 days later, he's back making big plays for the Broncos? This guy is a legend in my book. He is becoming a Denver Broncos legend.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Wow, Leslie, your fireplace really sucks.
I beg your pardon?
Well, what I mean is your fireplace is literally sucking all the air out of your house and right up the chimney every time you burn it.
Well, what can I do about it?
Well, you could get a high-efficiency gas insert from Cozy Heat. It keeps all the air you already paid the utility company to heat, and it returns up to 80% of the fire's heat back into your house.
I'd use my fireplace every chance I get if I could do that. Maybe my furnace wouldn't need to run so much.
Well, that's the whole point. Hi, this is Keith Lair with Lair Fireplace and Patio, along with my niece Leslie, to tell you how a gas insert from Cozy Heat will give you the incentive to use your fireplace again. Cozy Heat gas fireplaces and inserts are made to crank out the heat with beauty and style.
Lair's is Denver's oldest, most trusted name in fireplaces. Family owned and operated since 1954.
We'll even give you a free in-home quote, including expert installation by our own certified in-house installers.
Find us on the web at lairfireplacepatio.com.
For top quality Cozy Heat fireplaces and inserts, it's Lair Fireplace and Patio, Denver's fireplace experts.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins the drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Alrighty, the Rockies did something, and they actually did something good today. They are hiring Josh Burns from the World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers to become their general manager. Hopefully turn around this floundering franchise. Burns will team up with President of Baseball Operations Paul DePodesta, hired about a month ago. They were in Cleveland together in the 90s before DePodesta went to the Oakland A's, of course, Moneyball fame. And Burns actually joined the Rockies, and he worked under GM Dan O'Dowd. But obviously, Burns is well accomplished. I mean, he knows the NL West. He's been in the front offices of the Diamondbacks and the Padres, and he won a couple World Series with the Dodgers, and he had been in LA for quite some time before accepting this job as the Colorado Rockies GM. What do you make of this hire? Dante, you're our baseball guy. What am I supposed to know about Josh Burns? And I'm excited as a Rockies fan because it's outside of the organization. I understand he worked here at one point, but that was a long time ago. I think Walker Monfort's running the show. I think Dick has really stepped aside. They would not hire 2 external people in a month if Dick was still in charge. So tell me what we should know about Josh Burns and if you like the hire for the Rockies.
Yeah, I like the hire. I think, I think there could have been better people out there, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I think we can agree on this. The hiring of Paul DePodesta was a little interesting. I think that's a good word for it.
Yeah, but Jonah Hill played him in Moneyball. It's fun, right? It's quirky.
He also hasn't worked within baseball in a decade.
Yeah, he's with the Cleveland Browns for a long time.
Exactly.
But we all saw the movie. I read the book. I mean, come on. It's kind of it's Paul DePodesta.
No, I get that aspect of it, but when you're talking about a guy running your baseball team, you'd prefer somebody that was in the business for the last, decade.
I am being a little tongue-in-cheek for the record here.
No, I know. So I think Burns is a good match with that because he has great connection throughout the league. He's been in the sport. Great relationships around the league, which I've heard the Rockies can be, the Rockies can be a little insular with their organization. So it is good to have relationships around the league, and I think Josh Byrnes will give that to you. Every step of the way that he's been, he's been successful. The organization has been successful for the most part. So I like the pairing of the two, especially if they have good working relationships, which it seems like they do. Again, it's a long-term project here in Denver. It's not going to be fixed overnight, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I do too. And listen, this guy's got a couple World Series rings. He was also with the Dodgers when they won it in the COVID shortened year in 2020. So he's got 3 of them right there with LA.
He's been around good organizations, and I think if you're trying to change the culture of the Rockies organization, I think that's something that's important. This guy's been there. When the D-backs were fairly relevant, that was a decent organization. Obviously, the Dodgers are a top-class organization, and if you could just pick up a little bit from each stop of the way and bring it to Colorado, I think it's a good start.
Yeah, and he was with Cleveland in the late 90s. As I mentioned, he was with DePodesta there. Spent 3 years with the Rockies, early 2000s. So for anyone saying he's already worked for the Rockies, guys, he hasn't worked for the Rockies since 2002. It's been a long time since he's worked here in Denver. Spent a couple years with the Red Sox, obviously winners, the Diamondbacks, you mentioned, the Padres, and then the Dodgers the last 11 years. What do you make of my take that Walker Monfort's in charge now? And as Rockies fans, we should be relieved that Dick has finally relinquished control. And I understand people are upset that it's still the last name Monfort, but I don't know Walker Monfort. I've seen a couple interviews. I'm going to give Walker a fair shake. Dick, he dug his grave with Rockies fans. Walker, not his fault what his last name is. I'm willing to give him a shot, and so far, I'm happy with what Walker Monfort has done.
You want to give Dick a fair shake? No, I'm with you on that. I think that it's clearly Walker Monfort calling the shots here. I think we heard that even in the opening press conference when they introduced DePodesta. Dick Monfort joked about it. He's like, "Oh, they're kind of kicking me, to the background here." Yep. I don't know if that was that much of a joke, though. I really do think that he is more of a background figure at this point. I don't think he's making many decisions, and I'm excited to see what Walker can be. Again, I don't know if he's going to be a great decision maker. I don't know if he's gonna be a terrible decision maker, but at least it's a different decision maker than the one we've seen the last decade plus.
Yeah, and he's letting DePodesta and Burns make baseball decisions. We hope. We're keeping our fingers crossed on that.
Those kind of guys I don't think would take this job if they weren't able to do that.
They probably got assurances behind closed doors. They picked the players, right? And Greg Penner famously said that at his intro press conference when he bought the Broncos. I'm not picking players. I'm hiring people to pick players. And hopefully Walker steps out of the way and DePodesta and Burns are the one picking the players. Rockies aren't going to do squat next year. This is a full-on rebuild. But with these guys in place, hopefully a few years from now, they're back to playing relevant baseball.
Yeah, and I think that's the goal. Like I said, it's not going to be an overnight thing. I think you have a couple pillars. Hopefully Charlie Condon, early draft pick from last year, who can turn into something. He was a college guy, so that tends to accelerate their learning curve. And then the Holiday kid this year, he's got a bunch of upside to him. And, hopefully you got 2 guys there that can be in this lineup for years to come.
All right, would love nothing more for the Rockies to get it back on track. For Dante, I'm Will. It's DST on the Fan.
Does David Adelman need to take a page from his predecessor's playbook?
When you look and listen to David Adelman, do you feel like you are looking and listening at a guy